In this video, we're going to continue what we were talking about last time, and we're going to focus on more built-in functions that work with arrays in JavaScript. And so I'm going to create a new array, and so we're going to call this one baseball teams, and put them in brackets. By now, hopefully you remember and can create these arrays in your sleep, because you will need to be able to do that. Not really, but you will need to know them pretty well. Okay, so we have our array, and I'll print it out just to show you what we have. And there we go. It's an array of 5 different teams. The very first thing we're going to do is called shift, and that's the function we're going to use. And so we're going to go baseball teams dot shift, add in our parentheses, and that returns Yankees. And so you may think that shift just pulls the front one and shows it to you, but when I go to print this out, you'll see that Yankees is now gone and Twins is now our first one. So when you use shift, you actually remove an item from the array, the very first item from the array, and then you pop it out, and I shouldn't say pop because that's another built-in function. You pull this value from the top of the array, and then you return it, and then you remove it from the array so it's not there anymore. So it's a very helpful built-in function. I know I use that quite a bit whenever I'm wanting to show what's on the top and then not have it in the array anymore. Okay, the next one we're going to do is called unshift. And unshift, as the un in the word gives, it is kind of the opposite of shift. And so what unshift does is it adds a new element to the beginning of an array, and then it returns a new length. So the way this is going to work is we're going to type in baseball teams, and then we're going to type in unshift, and then you have to give the array what you want it to have. So we're going to do the Nationals. And now this array that had 4 values inside of it, now it has a total of 5. And I'll print that out so you can see it. Now you can see Nationals is at the very front of the array. I'll clear this out to give us some more room to work with. And so so we've done shift, unshift. The next one we're going to do is slice. This is when we want to pop. There I am using pop again. This is when we want to pull out a section or a slice, that's how you can remember it, from the array. And so we have our baseball teams array. I'll show you what's in there again. So we have 5 of them. And so to pull out a slice, we're going to put it in a variable. So we're going to do var sliced teams. You don't have to say sliced for the variable. I just did it because it made sense. But we'll do var slice teams, and then we type in the name of the array. So we'll type baseball teams, and we're going to type in slice, and then in here, this is where you can put parameters. So you need to give it the 2 parameters. You'll give it the one where you want it to start off on, and then where you want it to end. But you don't do where you want it to end inclusive, you do it exclusive. So in other words, we have Nationals is the 0 index in the array, Twins is 1, Mets is 2, etc. If I put in 0 and 2, it's actually going to return Nationals and Twins. So even though I put Mets, it's exclusive, so it's only these 2. If I want Mets in there, I'm going to have to put 3. So we'll do that, and then I'll print it out so you can see it. So we do slice teams, and now you have all 3 of them right here. You can also go backwards on this. So I'm going to do var slice teams 2, and then go baseball teams dot slice. And this is something we haven't really talked about, but it is useful. If you use negative numbers in an array, what it will do is this is 0, and if you do -1, this is actually -1. So this would be 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, and then -5. So we're going to go -3 and then -1 and see what this gives us. I do like to do this without spaces for some reason. Okay, so we have slice teams 2, and we'll print this out, and you'll see that you got the Mets and the Athletics because you took out -1, so this is going to be the break point, and then 2 from there, which would be -3. This is the inclusive side, this would be the exclusive side. So you'd go -1, -2, -3. So wherever you put the second one in, that is going to be where it starts off if you're using negative numbers. So, so hopefully that makes sense. If not, definitely play around with this one quite a bit because slice is something that is very powerful when it comes to being able to pull values out of an array. Next one we're going to do is sort. And sort is something you will use a lot when you're wanting things sorted. Usually you'll want them just sorted alphabetically, but you can also do it numerically and things like that. So to sort, it's pretty simple. You just do, we're going to do baseball teams, and then we're going to just type in sort and put parentheses, and there we go. So our teams were Nationals, Twins, Mets, Athletics, and Rangers. You can see they're scattered all over the place. Now it's returned Athletics, Mets, Nationals, Rangers, and Twins. So it's done in alphabetical order. Now, one thing that is very useful in JavaScript and in Ruby and a lot of these other programming languages where you use dot notation is something called method chaining. Method chaining is where you can actually chain or connect functions and methods together to add additional functionality. So what I'm going to do here, and also another shortcut when you're using the console, if you just hit the up arrow, it'll actually bring up the last thing you typed, and you can do it all the way that for everything it has in memory. So I'm going to do baseball teams sort, and then I'm going to do dot reverse and call the reverse function on it. So now you can see that it's actually taken the array and it's returned the sorted value. Now, a nice thing to know too, when you return this, the array is mutable. So when you've performed a sort and a reverse, that'll actually change the way the array functions. So if you want to have an array that's sorted and sort it for good, you don't have to go and sort another variable. Just put that sort function on it and it'll be sorted from then on. Okay, and let's see, the very last one that we're going to go on is called the Splice Method. Don't get it confused with slice. This is Splice with SP. And what the Splice Method does is it adds or removes elements from array in a specific part of the array. So far we've talked about things like push or unshift that will either, push puts an element on the array at the end, unshift puts it in the beginning. What Splice does is it will actually separate the array in a way so that you can insert elements anywhere you want within that array. So a good example, it's a lot easier to see it. So we'll clear the console. I'll show you the array, and you can see we have Athletics, Mets, Nationals, Rangers, and Twins. And if I'm wanting to splice this, the way it'll work is I'm going to let's see, do baseball teams, and then I'm going to type in splice, and then splice actually takes 3 arguments, and so the way I'm going to do this one is I'm going to do 2, and so this is going to put it in the second index, which is actually the third one, and then I don't want it to delete any current items, and then I'm going to put the Astros. Okay, so I know that's kind of confusing, so I'm going to explain it right after I've run it. Okay, and now do baseball teams. There we go. Okay, so what you can see right here is that we ran this function, baseballteams.splice, and I passed in 2, which is the first argument, and that is where the item is going to be placed. So we have 0, 1, and 2, and it's going to be right before the 2, so it's going to go right in this section. You can see that's right where it went, and then I don't want it to delete anything, so I put a 0. So the second argument there will decide if it's going to delete an item that it replaces, and you can actually even delete a few different items, but I wanted it just to be inserted. And the last argument is what you want included. And so this is a very flexible feature, so I could do things like this. I could do, we'll say 3 this time, and I want to delete 1 item, and then you can pass multiple strings or integers in here. So I'm going to say Marlins, and then we'll say Phillies, and then we're just going to run with this. So what this is going to do, it's going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, and so it's going to place 2 items here, but then it's going to look and say, okay, well, what's at that third value, and it's going to delete it. So we should have the Nationals deleted and the Marlins and Phillies replace them. Okay, and then it returned what got removed right there. So let's make sure this worked. And here we go. That worked perfect. So we have Athletics, Mets, Astros, Marlins, Phillies, Rangers, and Twins. These 2 got inserted. Nationals got removed. So that's Splice, and so you now have a very well-rounded education on how to use the built-in array functions and how they can manipulate arrays, sort them, and do all kinds of important things on those arrays.